Hi everyone, and welcome to Dave's Brick House. Today, we're celebrating a milestone and answering some viewer questions. So this past week, I hit a fun milestone with my YouTube channel, and that's that I've now just passed 250 subscriber mark. Special thanks to my friend TD Bricks for giving me a big boost. I really want to thank everyone who has subscribed so far. I'm having a lot of fun making videos to share some of my mocks, and I hope you're enjoying them too. Today, I'm going to answer some viewer questions. Some of these are things I've talked about before in various live streams, but not everyone has seen those. Additionally, there are some new questions. This video will be a bit longer than usual because I got a lot of questions, so let's get to them. Kelly Bartlett asked, do you always design in studio before starting a build? Most of the time, yes I do. I've always enjoyed using CAD software. I've used it for a few different hobbies over the years, woodworking and 3D printing in addition to Lego, so I'm quite comfortable with it. For the larger mocks I tend to do, designing in studio first is really helpful to give me an idea of how many of each of the parts I'll need. Having said all that, some things, like foliage for example, are a bit of a pain to do in studio, so I just free build those on after the main model is done. John C. asked, do you have a parrot? What is their name and what type of parrot is it? Yes, I do have a parrot, John. Two, actually. One of them is a ruby macaw, and his name is Micah. He made a cameo appearance in my Jurassic Park emergency shelter video, and he's been on live streams with me once or twice. The other one is an African gray parrot named Obi. She's a bit more shy, so you won't likely see her on screen anytime soon. Micah is 16 and Obi is 14, and I got both of them as newborns from a local breeder. Classic Bricks and others asked, how and when did you first get into Lego? It's actually only been just about 3 years since I got into Lego. It started when a friend, who I happened to work with at the time, showed me photos of the UCS Millennium Falcon that he had just finished. I had no idea such things existed, and I was blown away. Shortly after that, I took a trip to the Lego store and I bought the set. It was actually the first Lego set I ever built. A couple of months later, I found out about our local lug and I joined, and from there I fell into the Lego black hole. I attended my first convention, Bricks Cascade, in early 2019. I was thinking about just attending the public portion, but other lug members told me no, I'd be going to the full 4-day event. I'm really glad they twisted my arm, because after that I really dived deep into all things Lego. I didn't display anything that first year, so for Bricks Cascade 2020, I made up for it by displaying 14 mocks. Mo Bricks asked, what particular design feature or building technique is your favorite? That's a difficult question to answer, as there are so many choices, but I'd have to say I'm big on lots of windows in the mocks I build. Large quantities of windows and/or large expanses of glass are something I've always liked in real-world buildings, and it translates well to Lego. And when you use snot techniques for windows, you can get all kinds of different looks. Some good examples of mocks where I used lots of windows are the Schloss Leopoldskron Hotel, which had 556, the Big Red Office Building, which had 488, and the Luxury Houseboat. Lego iTech asked, so my question is, how do you store your bricks? I've been able to accumulate quite a large collection of bricks in the relatively short time I've been in the Lego hobby. I'm planning to do a detailed video soon on how I organize and store bricks, but to give you a brief answer now, I use some of the Acromills bins and a lot of Sterilite drawers. Seth Bland asked, what modified Lego piece do you feel you use most often? That's another difficult question to answer, as there are a number of really useful modified parts, but I guess I'd say the jumper plates. They're useful for all kinds of things. I've used them a lot for window assemblies, almost 1,200 of them on my Schloss Leopoldskron mock, and also just recently used a bunch of them on my Jurassic Park emergency shelter. And as a bonus, while I was doing research to answer your question, I discovered that Lego released a new jumper in 2020 that I somehow missed. It's a 2x4 with 2 studs. I'm going to have to get some of those to play with. They would have been really useful on my bunker builds. Kelly Bartlett also asked, where's your favorite place to get pieces? When I first got into Lego, I was buying used bulk, partly because that's what AFOLs tend to do, but it was also a good way for someone just starting out to get lots of parts for a good price. After a while though, I realized I wanted to be more focused on my buying and get only parts or colors that interested me. As such, I did a lot of buying on Bricklink as well. But I'd say my favorite source for parts is the Pick-a-Brick wall at the Lego store. It's an especially good deal for smaller parts and a great way to get lots of them at once with no shipping costs. Pre-COVID, I was making a PAB run once and sometimes twice a week. The other place I buy from regularly now is Bricks and Pieces on the Lego website. For many parts, it's actually cheaper to get them there than from Bricklink, and they have a really wide selection of parts and colors. Marvel Kid 25 asked, what do you like to build more, building Lego sets or building MOCs? I definitely prefer MOCs. In fact, I'm not buying nearly as many sets now as I did when I first got into Lego. The reason is that I have a huge backlog of unopened sets, like the last 3 modular buildings, the Barracuda base set, and the UCS Star Destroyer, among many others. I still enjoy building sets and almost always learn a few new build techniques, but with my limited available time, I usually focus on MOCs. And last, but definitely not least, my friend TD Bricks asked, what are some of your most ambitious MOC projects? The larger MOCs I do are pretty ambitious, Ty. The Schloss Leopoldskron Hotel MOC I did is a good example. It was around 15,000 pieces, and I built it after having been into Lego for only about 6 months. I've definitely developed a love for doing buildings in Lego, and I almost always build in minifig scale, which means they're big. Transporting these large MOCs to a convention has definitely been challenging, but worth the effort to me. I can think of at least 2 other of my MOCs that fit in this category, neither of which I've published videos for yet, and one of which is the granddaddy of ambitious projects, so you'll just have to keep an eye out on my channel for those. Side note, TD Bricks recently passed 100,000 subs, and he definitely deserves it. If you haven't seen his channel yet, go check it out. I put a link in the description. He has a lot of great videos of some really cool MOCs, as well as helpful tips and tricks. So there you go, the answers to a number of burning viewer questions. If I didn't answer your question, I apologize, but I did get quite a few questions. Again, I want to thank everyone who has joined me on my Lego adventure. Everyone has been so friendly and supportive, both in the comments and also on the live streams I've been on. And this is something that's so nice about the Lego community in general. It makes for a really fun hobby. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. I have a number of other MOC and tutorial videos already planned, so if you're new to the channel and would like to see more videos from me in the future, consider subscribing and clicking on the bell icon to get notifications when I post new videos. Thanks for watching, and go build something that makes you smile.